Welcome back to the Tiberium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk to you about the Imperial Pro Droids, the two different ones that are on the market for the 6-inch scale or the 6 or 7.5-inch scale. This is the Black Series versus the Elite, Hasbro versus Disney. Who's going to win? We're going to talk about this coming up. Let's take a good look at the packaging. This is standard Black Series packaging. You can already see how much bigger this guy is just from the packaging, and in it, here is a quick side view. I do kind of like this. This does feel like Empire Strikes Back inspired from that. Looks like you're inside the Death Star with that packaging. But of course, you know, this is how the packaging's been for a while. D3, Deluxe 3. There they go. We're gonna get them opened up and get into it. All right, so here they are out of the package. And as you guys know, if you follow the channel, I'm a mint and package collector, so it was excruciatingly painful to me to take these out of the package to review them. Probably one of the very few reviews I do with Star Wars items that takes out of the package. But anyway, getting into this one was a lot easier to get out of the package. And this one I felt like I had to mutilate the package. So I'm gonna do a lot of, probably take me half an hour to get it back in there when I'm done so I can display it. But so Hasbro wins. The Disney packaging was just rough to get it out of there. So there's a win for Hasbro. Now having them side by side and comparing them, you're gonna see a comparison in size. And I'm gonna go ahead and move the boxes from the back because now it's kind of hard to see with the boxes there. So looking at them side by side, this stand actually makes this one look so much taller. They both come with a stand. This one is displayed in the box with the stand. Now, this one is much bigger. It is massive in size. If you look, maybe you can see the difference in the size. Wow, it's huge. And weighs probably 5 times the weight. I don't know, we might do a weight test. But they both look good. These are both really good looking probe droids, and the paint scheme on both of them look great. Man, it's awesome. I really do like the probe droid. We're going to see some probe droid comparisons more in the future here, but let's go ahead and have a look at the Hasbro one. So first of all, you do have all these independent arms with articulation. So that works, and that gets that done. There's a lot to it. This longer arm has 1, 2, 3, 4 points of articulation to get whatever sort of pose you want out of it. Same thing. This one here only has about 3. But all the way around, you've got all this articulation. I do love the clear stand and how, I mean, that's just the way the movie looks, it floating around. You do have the head articulated moving around. You have these 2 small antennas up here. Noticing with some color scheme, this looks like some scarring, and it's got a little bit of scarring on there. Seen a little battle, and then of course, you know, it didn't have to hit it very hard. It had a self-destruct. This with the head that moves. Now it doesn't remove. Like I gave it a little bit of pressure to pull off. It doesn't pop off or anything. So that's something with that Pro Droid, but it looks good. So not bad for a $30 option. Now this guy here, this guy actually was MSRP of $27 for the Disney one. And so let's look at it. You have articulation 1, 2, 3 points. So these don't open up. It really does look the way it's set up that those would open. So 1, 2, 3 points of articulation on that one. 1, 2, 3. So no matter, the long ones only have 3 points of articulation. Now these are all plastic, but the main figure is die cast, but the little arms are plastic. So I was thinking the arms would be made of die cast also. They also swivel back and forth. These over here, that one swivels back and forth, that one. So yeah, you do have the swivel back and forth on the Black Series, so that's the same. That's very similar. Swiveling back and forth. So there's the arms, the head moving around. spins. It doesn't pop off. You've got a little something right here. Let's see if that has that. Yep. Well, whatever this piece is here, you actually do have it on the Black Series. It's the same. And then with the paint on this one, of course, since it's die cast, it's entirely painted, so we know it's 100% paint, and it is beautiful. It kind of has like a metal fleck to it. I don't know how to explain it. And I think it's a little bit better of a paint job than the Black Series, because the Black Series is partially just colored plastic and then paint on top of it. And this one, because it's metal die cast, it has to be 100% painted. So it doesn't have like as much of the scarring that you would see, the battle damage, as the Black Series version, but it does have some. So if you can see all of that, like just here and there, all the detail. And it does have built-in, they both have a lot of built-in detail. This does look really good. And gosh, it's heavy and solid. It just feels really solid. It does include 2 antennae that would plug in right here. Here and here. Plug in. It looks like once you plug them in, you can't take them out. I'm not plugging them in. But anyway, there he is. I'll point out on the Black Series one, during the extremely traumatic unpackaging, which it was terrible, this piece fell off. I can't feel around and find any other parts that feel that loose, like they're going to fall off. But this piece just literally just fell right off. I don't know. I don't know if I need to glue it back in or something. It's just strange. It just fell out. So I'm wondering, are there more pieces that might fall off of it? Nothing like that happened with the Elite or the Disney one, but it did happen on the Black Series one. All right, so we're gonna weigh these things so you can tell the difference in weight. So 2.5 ounces on the Black Series one, and note the Black Series one has snow as the base. That's kind of cool. 2.5 ounces. Let's weigh the Disney Elite Series diecast one. 12.7, and its stand here is just a black stand that says Star Wars on it. See, it says Star Wars. But almost, I mean, really close to like 12.7. That's a lot. That's a heavy sucker. So I do want to do a quick comparison to the other versions of the Pro Droid we've gotten in the past. Now these are the first two, Black Series and Disney. The first two that are part of the 6-inch line that I know of. I mean, I don't know if one of these other 2 third-party companies that make stuff have made these before, but of course they're right in line with the 40th anniversary. Here is the vintage, so here and here are the vintage probe droids. Now with the vintage probe droid, you can pop the head off. That was a gimmick, and I don't see that gimmick on either of these. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe there's a release button, I don't know. But anyway, here is the vintage, and it has all these little tentacles hanging off, but no articulation really. And it really was not meant to stand like I'm standing it. It was supposed to be part of the probe and turret playset, and it was supposed to stand on a similar type of mechanism as these. And then this one here is actually the Power of the Force 2 version, which has more to it. Like when you lift the head up, you got some guns coming out, and of course it spins around. See, the Power of the Force 2 line had some good stuff. This was a good looking probe droid, and still not much articulation with all the armatures like you get with the Black Series and the Elite. But you still get something, and somewhere in here there's like a missile that fires. My missile's missing in both of those, but you know, you kind of get the idea of the difference. We've come such a long way from these things back in the day to what we're getting now. Of course, the price has come a long way too. I haven't said it before, I'm gonna say it. I feel like a probe droid, or any droid, should be made of diecast. I feel like Hasbro needs to make them diecast. If not, I get all mine the Elite. All my droids, I have them in Elite. Of course, I have the Hasbro ones too, but I feel like they should be made of diecast. Every droid, C-3PO, R2-D2, all of them need to be made of metal. I mean, they're made of metal in the show, in the movie. So why not in the toy? I feel the same way about my Transformers, but I can't quite get that, can I? Let's get that zoomed in there. And now for some size comparisons. Here we are next to Han Solo and Luke, so you can see how big they are. I just think they fit right. The size, the scale, it works for me. I like it. Both of them are big enough, but for me, I'm bigger, better. So I like the Disney one, the Disney exclusive the most. And I want to talk about it. The Disney exclusive one, they called it limited, popped up, and I ordered mine right away. The very next morning, I was telling some of my friends about it. It was sold out. I was a little surprised because it was limit one per account. So I don't know if people made 5 or 6 accounts to get several. I don't know about that, but I'm glad I got mine. Hopefully you could track yours down. I don't know what the secondary market's gonna look like, but you know, Disney and Hasbro, they have no shame. They reissue stuff all the time, so maybe they'll reissue it. This has been the Disney versus Hasbro Probe Droid matchup, and I have to say, I'm giving it to Disney. The Disney one is vastly superior with the weight and the paint and the look and the aesthetic of this thing. But the Hasbro one does have a couple more points of articulation on some of the arms that come out, and of course it has the snow look for the base, so that's the 2 advantages. But everything else, overall, the Elite one wins, and I think all droids should be in die-cast metal. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and talk to your hanger out.